on Saturday and Sunday for the final 2 days of the NFL's regular season. On Saturday, the Chiefs beat the Broncos 28-24. The Cowboys destroyed the Eagles 51-26. On Sunday, the wildest of regular season finales occurred as the Jaguars shocked the Colts, knocking them out, getting into the playoffs with a 26-3 victory. So that left the door wide open for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Win their in. Roethlisberger and Pittsburgh beat Baltimore 16-13. San Francisco clinched the playoff berth with their win over the Rams 27-24. Sunday Night Football, the Chargers went into Sin City to take on the Las Vegas Raiders in a classic to close out the regular season. In the final 2 minutes of regulation, Vegas led 29-14. Not ready to give up just yet. The Chargers came storming back to tie the game and send the game into overtime. Tied up at 29 in overtime. Both teams exchanged field goals. Tied up at 32. Vegas drove down the field, and Daniel Carlson kicked the Vegas Raiders into the playoffs with a 35-32 victory. After 18 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, the playoff fields are finally complete. Sports fans, are you ready? For the next several weeks, our Nation Sports Show has you covered. For the drama, excitement, the road to Super Bowl 56 starts now. The Nation speaks to you. Next.
Turn here. Turn here. Turn here. Turn here.
From the gridiron to the court, talking all that is sports. Members of the Busted Open Nation bring to you our Nation Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Ezra Vickery, Joey Thornton, Kevin Rorie, and Stephen Wyand.
Oh, yeah. Let's get at it. Sports fans, to steal a little line from our buddy Ryan McKinnell at Busted Open. What's going on, everybody? It is another Thursday. I am feeling better. Fuck COVID. Welcome to another edition of our Nation Sports Show. We are live. We are here to rock and roll. You wanted the best. You wanted the best. They weren't available, so you got us instead. As usual. But I'm the only good one here. Good looking, by the way. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, welcome to our Nation Sports Show, everybody. We got a lot to talk about, man. What a wild final week to the regular season for the NFL. We got some, of course, NBA news. We're going to discuss some of the All-Star fan vote picks and some injury news and trade news in basketball as well. We also got to talk about the return of Klay Thompson. Of course, the Splash Brothers are back. We'll get to that a little bit later. But before we start our usual discussion, we got to tell you how you guys can interact with us. That is, of course, our YouTube channel, which we are live right now on YouTube. Search our Nation Sports Show. We are at 85 subscribers, folks. We're almost there. 15 more. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Send this video out to your friends and get them to like. Once we get that 100 subscriber mark, we can make a custom URL, and it'll be easier for you guys to find us and easier for us to share our content with you. Also, don't forget our Twitter, twitter.com/ON_sports show. You can also find us at Our Nation Sports Show on Facebook as well and Instagram. Follow us there. And let me tell you, it's gonna be a great show, guys. We got a lot to talk about. We got so much time and so little to strike that. Reverse it. Thank you. but we got a lot to talk about, and it's going to be a great show. Well, let's get right to it. Let's introduce the people that are involved. Let's go with our buddy here, man who's celebrating a big win from his San Francisco 49ers coming through in the clutch, which we discussed earlier. I watched that game live, and it was a great game, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But it's our buddy Kevin Rorie. Kevin, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I hope everybody's staying away from this COVID mess that's going around real bad. And myself, I've just got over about 3 heart attacks after the Sunday game against the Rams, but I'm here and I'm happy. Hope everybody else is too.
Exactly. And then of course with us rocking the John Cena hustle, loyalty, respect shirt, which of course is fine with me. Even though he looks like in green, Shaggy Rogers from Scooby-Doo, where are you? I couldn't let that go. Sorry, Joe. This is Joseph Thornton, our main guy here, the only Atlanta Braves fan who's actually admitting to being an Atlanta Braves fan, or an Atlanta or a Alabama fan in general after this weekend. Joe, what's up?
What's up, everybody? I hope everybody's avoiding all this COVID mess, like Kevin just said. And about Alabama, yeah, I'm still kind of sour that we lost, but I just got one thing to say. We're still Alabama, and that means we'll be back next year. So rock on and roll tide.
I expect Alabama to be back in the championship game again next year. There's no way that school's just too good, but we'll get more into maybe even discussing that a little bit later on, depending on time. But let's move on to the matriarch of this fucking show. Without him, we wouldn't be here, man. And that's the honest to God truth. And that is my heavy metal brother from North Kakalaka himself, Big Stephen Wyand. Stephen, what's up, my dude?
What's up, everybody? Man, Kevin, just like you, I'm still recovering from that Sunday night football game. Like, oh my goodness. Like, I'm not a fan of the Chargers or the Raiders, but dude, I thought I had 3 heart attacks in that game as well because, dude, I felt so bad for those fans that had to endure that game because it was so intense in that stadium. And we're going to get into that game, but man, it was a wild, crazy final Sunday in the National Football League. And it was very, very fitting that it went down to the final wire. What a great season it's been, fellas. So let's go.
Absolutely.
And imagine what Pittsburgh fans were feeling as they were watching that Raider Chargers game.
They be in the boat with me. Heart attack after heart attack after heart attack.
Yeah, I know.
Please don't tie it.
Hey, they're trying to speak, and they're having a heart attack. They're going, ba, 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 ba. No, let's not go there.
I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. About to lose my life.
I gotta love inside jokes, but we'll leave that one alone. But no, usually we do the full score rundown from last week, but we're gonna do something a little different this week. I think this is a last minute call, and that is that literally we do this all the time on the show, so don't mind us. And that is that I want to start off actually with your biggest takeaway from this weekend and from each. It's something I've thought about is that we go through the scores, we talk about each game, and we always go through okay, this happened, great play. But I want to know, with this being the final week of the regular season, I want to know what your biggest takeaway was from this last game heading into the playoffs for a lot of these teams. We'll go ahead and start with Kevin because he's, of course, the most astute when it comes to this sport. What was your biggest takeaway from this weekend as far as the playoffs are concerned coming up here the next couple weeks?
I just think, like Steven had said, how fitting that the last 2 games of the regular season finale with so many playoff implications on the line come down into overtime and come down to the wire. That tells me how good that this playoffs is stood out to be. Like, I'm looking at the wild card, which we're going to get into it later, but I'm looking at the wild card list and the games, and every single one of them, top to bottom, I'm like, ooh, that's a little juicy. I like it. I like the matchups. And it makes for a very intriguing weekend of wild card matchups for the NFL.
I agree. I agree with that. Absolutely. It's very intriguing because the wild card this week, it's gonna be. We have a great set of games with that coming up, and it's gonna be awesome to see who makes it forward. But like you said, the last two games going into overtime. How fitting, like you said, with so many playoff implications. I mean, look at the scenario with the Raiders, Chargers game. Look at that. If tied that game, if that game were to finish in a tie, they would have both went in, and the Steelers would have been out.
And the crazy thing about that was everyone in the stands and everybody at home, including myself, and even the coaches on the field, had admitted we planned to run the clock out until the Chargers took the timeout. The Raiders were planning on playing it safe and just running the clock out so they could both be in the wild card. But the Chargers called the timeout. It made the Raiders head coach think, maybe they're trying to get the ball back and kick the game time or get the game winning field goal if they stop us on fourth down. Nope, let's just try to run it now. That fucked them up. And Pittsburgh fans, I know, have been shitting themselves because I know toward the end of the game, you're just like, there's no way this game could be tied, ending the tie. There's no way. And then overtime comes, then the 5-minute mark comes, then the 3-minute mark comes, and Pittsburgh fans like, holy shit, it's going to end up in a tie. Oh, no. And that just added drama to an already drama-filled Sunday.
Yeah, agree with that. Joe, your biggest takeaway from this weekend with playoff coming up here in a couple weeks?
It was a wild Sunday, probably one of the wildest Sundays ever in the regular season. And first thing I got to say, even though we talk shit about him, in Jimmy G we trust, because Jimmy Garoppolo, he really guided the Niners to a huge comfort behind win over the Rams. But my biggest takeaway, and I'm giving a shout out to all my Pittsburgh Steelers fans out there. My biggest takeaway is the fact that Ben Roethlisberger gets to enjoy one last playoff run for his soon-to-be Hall of Fame career, because Big Ben, he didn't deserve to go out, or he deserved to bow out in his supposed final regular season just to be out of the playoffs. He wanted one last playoff run, and I'm so thankful that he actually gets to go out possibly with one last playoff run under his belt.
Well, let's just be honest here. The reason why Big Ben is in the playoffs is because the Ravens sucked.
Yeah.
Let's be honest that Lamar Jackson nor Huntley can fucking be consistent for one single fucking game. So let's just put that into context, okay?
Yeah, I
love Big Ben. I love Big Ben as much as the next person. I think he's a legendary quarterback, future Hall of Famer, one of the greatest to ever do it. Honestly, I'm a fan of his. I love Big Ben. I'm waiting
on one of y'all to bring up a big take too that I just don't want to speak on. But that's really the truly only reason that the Steelers were in the playoffs.
You know what? Hold on. Kevin, Steven.
That is actually where I was fixing to go there, Kevin, because that is my biggest takeaway of the league. Congratulations, Indianapolis Colts. You are the biggest fuck up in the 2021 NFL regular season. You had one fucking job and you blew it. You lose to the worst football team known to mankind that has ever existed, the Jacksonville Jaguars, a 2-14 team winning football team. How in God's name do you lose to this team? You want to know how? I got 2 words for you. Not suck it. That's what they do. But Carson Wentz in that game was 8 of 20 for 100 yards, a pick, a fumble, and a big fat fucking quarterback rating of 35. Congratulations, Colts. You deserve to sit your asses home, because you know why? You don't give Jonathan Taylor the football because he ran 77 yards. You could have fed the dude, but you didn't feed the dude. You had one job and you freaking blew it. Congratulations on getting the best shit sandwich ever in America, and that is this game against Jacksonville. Kevin, I knew where you were going with this, and this was my biggest takeaway of the week because the Colts had one job. Are
You're
you
right,
kidding?
Steven.
Are you kidding me? When
Right.
this game was going on, I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, all right, you know what? Jacksonville's got a pretty good game going right now. You know, they're up 10-7, 10-0, whatever. They drove at a touchdown, I'm like, okay, they got a drive, pretty good, not too bad right now. And then it's like the game keeps going. I'm like, why is the Colts defense giving up so many yards to Jacksonville? And why is Jonathan Taylor not getting the football? Oh, wait, because it's the Colts. It's Carson Wentz.
Actually, Steven, here's a bigger question for you.
Uh-oh.
Why in the fucking hell was that Colts defense making Trevor Lawrence look like the best thing since sliced bread?
Why was the Colts defense making Trevor Lawrence look like Tom Brady?
But
Hey.
Hold on. Time out here. Time out of the field. I don't care if it's a joke or not. You don't put Tom Brady and Trevor Lawrence in the same sentence ever again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's like putting Ben Simmons and freaking Michael Jordan in the same sentence. You don't do it.
Oh, I'm sorry. He was looking more like Matthew Stafford. My bad.
But hey, Steven, let's just keep it real here that game was what busted open all the craziness wild card scenarios that happened. Because if the Colts would have won, it
we
would have
not been in the same scenario we're in right now.
And it would have been nothing but winner gets in for the night. It wouldn't have been if the Ravens beat the Steelers, if the Steelers beat the Ravens, if the Pats beat the Bills, Pats beat the Dolphins, then the Dolphins. It wouldn't have been none of that. It would have been the Colts and the winner of the Chargers and the Raiders.
Think about this. Okay, so if Baltimore would have won, obviously the Colts did lose to Jacksonville. That was number one. But if the Ravens would have beat Pittsburgh, they would have had the Dolphins beat the Patriots. Obviously, that didn't happen. Yeah. And then they would have had, I believe, the Raiders would have had to beat the Chargers, right? I think, and that's how Baltimore could have gotten in. But either way, Pittsburgh and Baltimore do not deserve to be, especially Pittsburgh, because they're in. Pittsburgh is one of the luckiest teams this year to be in this year's dance of the playoffs. They are not a team that deserves. The only guy that deserves that is Roethlisberger, because Roethlisberger is actually out there trying his hardest. And it's just mind-boggling how the Colts were talked about as one of the best, up-and-coming teams because of their running back, Jonathan Taylor, and a pretty good defense. But the fact that they chose to lay the biggest egg on Sunday afternoon, this past Sunday, it is a shame that this Colts team picked the worst time to play their worst football at this time against one of the worst, if not the worst, team in football in the Jaguars. There is nothing good in Jacksonville except AEW.
You're right. Steven, I gotta say that the Colts, like for the Chargers, I like the Raiders, like our fellow member Randy, and I told him this earlier. I said, Randy, I hate the Raiders just because of what they put us through. Instead of just getting the time, letting the Chargers be in, we gotta watch. He's a Hall of Famer, don't get me wrong, but we got to watch this old man grandpa of a quarterback scoring 10 points in a playoff game rather than watch an up-and-coming MVP candidate like Justin Herbert throwing 4th and 20 dimes all game like he did in that last quarter. So you'd rather watch the fucking Ben Roethlisberger play in the playoffs? He can't throw the ball no more. They don't belong in the playoffs.
We're gonna get into this game, because this game had so many twists and turns, but the fact that Roethlisberger is in these playoffs, it is a sheer miracle. I mean, I keep harping back to it, but if the Colts would have beat the Jaguars, we would not be in this scenario right now. The Jags beating the Colts started this craziness.
Yeah, and I got to say, another big takeaway that I think we can all agree on was, even though this game didn't have any major implications because one team already had the number one seed locked up to the NFC East, how the fuck does Detroit beat the Packers?
Well, Karen's not in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, my
mean-
toe.
Well, here's the thing. The Packers, they've locked up the number 1 seed. They've got all that shit. They don't. That's the thing.
They didn't need that game. Congratulations, Detroit.
I hate the Packers as much as the next person does, especially when you're from Chicago. You want to just see the whole city of cheese just melt into a pile of fondue. But when it comes to it, they made the right decision not to play him, because if he injures his toe again, even worse, he might be out for the rest of the playoffs. Cross your fingers. But it's but to me, I think they made the right decision. Was it bad that they lost to the Lions? Yeah, it was not a great thing, but it's a win. It's a loss they can afford, because they have already got the number 1 seed locked up. They've already got home field advantage locked up. They don't need it. So to me,
but Karen Rogers' toe has been bothering him for a month and a half now. I'm surprised he's still able to play on that thing.
well,
I'm
to
just saying.
to be honest, if you put it that way, you done messed up at Aaron. But I digress. But no,
literally, that toe has been bothering him since week 13, and he's still playing on it. I mean, damn.
Yeah, but yeah, my biggest takeaway from this is just, like I said, the unpredictability coming up with these playoffs is going to be really interesting to see how this goes. There's a lot of ways this playoffs could go with all these great teams. A lot of different possibilities, especially with the wild card coming up, which we'll get into in our predictions for the wild card. But right now, we got to get into. Let's talk a little bit more about last week's games. We did mention the Jacksonville debacle. We mentioned about Big Ben's somehow miraculous victory over the Ravens. Not really miraculous. Trying to give credit where credit's due, but let's get right into it. Of course, the first game that happened Saturday was the Chiefs and the Broncos. Chiefs pulled it out 28-24. Kansas City became the 5th team in NFL history to win 12+ games in 4 straight seasons. So, any thoughts on that game?
I just got one thing to say real quick. If it wasn't for Melvin Ingram jarring that ball loose, the Chiefs would have lost that game. I'm telling you that right now.
Good point. Because when Ingram jarred that ball loose and that big fella picked that ball up and took it back 85 yards, I'm like, oh my, look at that big fella rumble into the end zone. I mean, that right there saved Kansas City in that game.
If it wasn't for Melvin Ingram, the Chiefs would have lost that game, hands down.
You know what though? I'm honestly out of that game. I know it was a back and forth game, but I'm actually very concerned for the Kansas City Chiefs heading into the playoffs from the events that transpired throughout that game. And luckily for the Chiefs, they played a sorry-ass Steelers, which even the second team should beat, no offense. But Tyreek Hill goofing off in pregame hurts his calf, goofing off with Hardman in play and catch, and he strained his calf, and it looks like it's going to be a major factor on his speed come playoff time. And then even Travis Kelce was banged up at the end of the game. So they might be fine, seeing as Kelce definitely should be fine, because they could beat the Steelers without Kelce and Tyreek. But I'm more worried about when it comes to the divisional round on Tyreek's calf. That's where it's going to be a telltale story.
Yeah,
exactly.
And here's the thing, though. I mean, I understand the Chiefs were trying to get the number 1 seed, but other than that, they didn't really have anything to lose. So I don't see why they kept playing their starters. I mean, I understand you want to get the number 1 seed and get the bye and not have to play this upcoming week, but still, I mean, other than that, the Chiefs really had nothing to lose. So, in my opinion, they should have rested Mahomes, Hill, and Kelce, or at least maybe take him out after the first half or something, but not let him play the whole game.
I mean, no offense, we knew Tennessee was winning that game.
Yeah, I mean, for crying out loud, Tennessee played the fucking Houston Texans, and they fucking suck ass. I mean,
I love that brutal honesty on this show. It reigns supreme, baby.
Sorry, Brian.
Right. Rated R.
Yeah.
The comments we make, it's almost X here. What are you talking about? Speaking of X, the fucking Cowboys exterminated the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh God.
Put them on the extinction list with that 51-20 performance. Prescott surpassing Romo for the most passing touchdowns in a season in Dallas history. Anybody want to start with?
What do you expect? I mean, they played. Okay, how convinced is this? They played the two shittiest teams in the NFC East, or at least as we like to call it, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington No-Call-Its, and they both put up over 50 points. So, congratulations.
And then after their drubbing of the Washington No Names, which we're finally going to have a name come February 2nd.
How ironic is that, fellas? You picked Groundhog Day to pick
Soccer
a team
team.
name.
But anyway, yeah.
Boxing
Anyways,
match.
I mean,
They play the two shittiest teams in the NFC least, and then when they bring in an NFC West team, they could barely score 20 points.
Just what happened this weekend, but we'll get into it later. But anyway, congratulations, Prescott. For having a great season with Dallas. All kidding aside, I mean, Prescott had a great year this year, and he proved his worthiness on being on this football team. I mean, the guy's great.
Yeah,
you know what? I'm not sold on those?
Five passing touchdowns this game. But then again, like you said, it is Philadelphia, but still 5 passing touchdowns, 295 yards on 21-27 passing. That's pretty damn good. We'll give him that.
He don't have to impress me. I'm sold on Dak. He's legit. He's elite. He's top 10. I'm sold on. I'm worried about that scrub who just missing in action. Ezekiel Elliott, where are you? You have sucked since 2017. Do something.
Hey,
Somebody found him missing.
No.
I seen his I saw his picture of milk cartons the other day at the store.
Hey, what the hell was he with the what the hell was that he jumped in when he scored the touchdown on Thanksgiving. He jumped in that the hell was it?
That bowl. Yeah, he jumped in that teapot and I ain't seen him see it.
Yeah, the Salvation Army kettle.
Yes, thank you.
Hey,
somebody find him. He's at the Salvation Army. He's been missing since 2017.
Whoa. Hang on. You guys got it all wrong. You guys got to remember where Ezekiel Elliott came from because he was once a cheerleader in the longest yard.
Oh, no.
I think I made him shit himself.
But no, for real, guys, the Eagles, do I think they're good? Do I think the Eagles have a future? Oh, yeah. If you come and told me the Philadelphia Eagles in 3 years with 2 first-round picks this year, I think the Eagles are going to be legit contenders in the next 3 or 4 years. Right now, no, they're not ready. You can see it. Their defense ain't ready. Devontae Smith's so young. Jalen Hurts has a lot of potential. I love the kid, but they're not ready. Dallas, I will not talk shit because of the upcoming wildcard game. I will be nice and on my best behavior, but
we'll see about that.
We'll state a fact, though. The Dallas Cowboys playing bottom-tier defenses scoring 40 and 50 points. The Dallas Cowboys against the only top 10 defense they've seen this year in the Denver Broncos was down 30-0. I might add you. And coming into the wildcard game, which we'll get on to later, the San Francisco 49ers is a top 5 defense, number 4. So, Dallas, you better get your shit together because the NFC West, they're about that defense. And if you can't get your shit straight against a good defense, it don't matter if you can beat the Niners. You're going to have to play the Rams. You're going to have to play the Packers. You're going to have to play the Bucks again. And that defense is going to eat them.
Hey, it ain't just about the defense though for the NFC West. I mean, it's about both aspects of the ball. I mean, damn, why think the NFC West put 3 of their 4 teams in the playoffs? Because that conference is just too damn fucking good.
I mean, Stafford's first year with Los Angeles, him and Cooper Kupp and all those guys in LA and OBJ finally stepping up,
And you know what, though, Steven? I don't want to say it's the best division in football, but it's the best division in football. Who's not?
It is.
It is.
Listen, look how Philadelphia squeaked in and how bad Philly and the Saints were. who's to say if Russell Wilson didn't stay healthy, the Seahawks would be the
Dude,
seventh?
you could have
seed
had
in
all four teams in the conference.
the Seahawks would have been the seventh seed if Russ stays healthy. I'm going to say that.
But instead, it turned into the Sea Chickens.
The Sea Chickens, yeah. They got Russ went down and they had Geno Smith, the famous Jets quarterback, as their hero, who sucks for 6 weeks for them. So, yep, the Sea Chickens are last.
Oh, and not to mention, Geno Smith just got arrested the other day for suspicion of DUI.
He don't play for the Raiders, does he? Oh. There's not allowed to have cars no more in Vegas.
Things are getting heated on this show.
Hey, I wonder what Randy's thinking. I wonder what Randy thought about that comment.
Well, he is listening. He is listening. He is listening to the show because he decided because of a long day today, which he did have a long day today. He decided to bow out of joining the show today, but he is joining us on YouTube. So thank you, Randy, for joining us there. And we're reading your comments. Don't worry about that. But let's move on to the next game. Of course, the Packers Lions. Lions 137. But like I said earlier, like when we started doing our when we did our little preview thing we just did, to me it's not that important of a loss. To me, the Lions won. Yeah, they got to win. Okay, big deal. With the Packers, they've already secured the number 1 seed. They secured home field advantage. It's not that big a deal. To me, yeah, Aaron Rodgers didn't play, but once again, it's smart thinking. It's preserving your quarterback for winning the games that matter the most. Mind you, this is a team that won 3 games this whole season now. And mind you, there's no point in risking your star quarterback with any sort of re-injury to any part of their body, or even getting a new injury before the postseason starts. So the Packers made the right decision of holding him out. And yes, Jordan Love had a good game, and he didn't quite produce the same numbers as an Aaron Rodgers would, or have that strong of a game. But
I look at it,
yeah,
like Ezra. I look at it like this: you can actually the Packers actually won. If you look deep into it, you're getting Jordan Love, your quarterback of the future, experience, which he needs. Then by the Lions winning, they took the Lions out of having the number 1 overall pick, and the Jaguars got that pick. So now you cost your division rivalry the chance to be the number 1 overall pick. So now the Lions have to settle for the 2 overall pick, which could be crucial. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, to me, it's not really that big of a loss for Green Bay. So it's not shrug it off their shoulders, move forward. They're gonna have Aaron Rodgers ready for the playoffs. So, that's kind of where it lies on that. But as far as the next game goes, Steven ranted about this game.
Oh, here we go.
The Jags, 26-11. Jacksonville finally defeats the Colts.
Hang on, guys.
To say about this game, just one thing.
Field is yours, guys.
The national championship game between Alabama and Georgia. At least there was one playoff game that's going to happen at Lucas Oil Stadium. Because it wasn't going to be the NFL playoffs. That's for sure. That's all I'm saying. You choke artist.
How can you lose to Jacksonville? I mean, come on. It's like losing to the Jets.
Hey, but hang on. What do you mean finally? The Jaguars are actually 6-0 on their home field against the Colts since 2015.
How the fuck is that possible?
Yeah, the Jaguars
are over 20 against everybody else in the league.
Yeah.
There you go, Jacksonville. There you go, Jags fans.
You ain't wrong.
No, the Colts.
You're
not wrong.
Instead of saying 0-20, I'll say 1-20 because at least they can probably beat the Jets if they wanted to.
No. They beat the Bills. There we go.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I was gonna say they lose to the Jets too, but then again, literally if you put the Jets versus the Jaguars, I would fall asleep quicker than the beginning of Monday Night Raw.
hey, imagine if those two teams ever fought it out in the AFC Championship game.
Oh,
it would be
actually
everybody
get off topic.
Imagine if it was the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't want to get off topic.
Well, obviously that would never happen because of
everybody
happens. Get off topic, but the other day I was rebuilding a franchise in Madden, and I happened to choose the Jets. And after a bunch of trades and free agency and draft, and it took me like 10 years, but I got the Jets there. And who did I meet in the AFC Championship? The Jacksonville Jaguars. So never say never. 2030's looking up for him, fellas. That was with Kyler Murray at quarterback, by the way.
Hold on. Kevin brought up Madden. Just real quick, I hate to get a little off topic here, but Kevin, remember when you used to come over to my house and play Madden, and you used to have Peyton Manning at cornerback? I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Oh yeah,
dude, he had Peyton Manning intercept Eli Manning. I'm like, this is perfect. Like, you idiots. But yeah, I mean, my God, the Jaguars beating the Colts 26-11. I mean, just I still, that rant has me out of my bearings because I'm still in shock how the Colts blew an opportunity to get in the playoffs. They had one job and they blew it.
You know what? I gotta say, Sunday while that Colts Jaguars game was going on, I was at my nephew's birthday party at the bowling alley in Rockingham, and they actually had that game on in one of the TVs there inside the bowling alley. And as my wife and I were leaving, I saw that the Jaguars were up 13-3, and I was like, okay, still kind of early. The Colts will probably come back. I get home and I see the score is fucking 26-3, and I was like, huh? What?
And that tells you something. I totally forgot that the Colts scored a touchdown because when I did the intro, I totally forgot that they scored a touchdown. You know why? Because the touchdown was meaningless. It meant nothing.
Yeah.
Imagine the Colts and the Jaguar or imagine the Jaguars and the Jets in the Super Bowl.
Oh dear God!
Everybody would be praying that the halftime show would be 3.5 hours long. Nobody would enter the stadium. Nobody would enter the stadium. Listen, nobody would enter the stadium until the halftime show.
Hey, no. Imagine the Jaguars and the Jets in the Super Bowl. That would be probably the easiest game to get into because tickets would only be like $5 or $10 a ticket.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, Steven?
Buy 3, get 1 free.
What?
There you go.
Steven, I should have cut the crowd noise down when I played that game too, because it would have been real live. Nobody'd be at the game. It would be in the stands. But you know what? I didn't. But no.
Hey, you should have done it on. You should have done it on Madden 05.
Oh no, I ain't want to hear him. Hey, but
look, coach would call this play.
On a serious note about that, I told people 7 to 8 weeks ago when I looked at the draft or mock draft. I said Philadelphia won that trade with Carson Wentz because everybody's like, no, they didn't. No, he didn't. Carson Wentz sucks. Colts are about to get rid of him. I'm sorry. He is ass. And the Philly, who is a playoff team now, who made the playoffs. So who won the trade? One made the playoffs.
Playoffs?
You're talking about
playoffs?
Look, not only that, but Philly has 3 first-round picks this year. One of them is Indianapolis. One of them's their own.
Dude,
somebody else's. They have 3 first picks.
I don't even think Carson Wentz is going to be he's going to be looking for a job come this offseason. Yeah. And honestly, I cannot think of a team who is willing to sign this guy. He has been a failure since his injured, cut short season in 2017 when Philadelphia was actually doing good with him. And how fitting, after he went down with that ACL injury, after that, He's been nothing.
Hey, guys. Oh God, I'm about to catch a big old backlash over this one.
Oh boy.
Oh,
I know the perfect team for Carson Wentz. You know who?
I know.
He can
Carolina
join Matt
Panthers.
Rule and the Carolina Panthers. Woohoo!
Hey, they have enough hurt people in their backfield with McCaffrey. They don't need anybody else in that hospital with them.
Wait a minute. I got it. So Cam Newton is supposed to be Superman. Well, then that means Carson Wentz is Lex
Wonder
Luthor.
Woman. Oh,
I'm sorry, but Orange Cassidy has more excitement in his whole body than that move makes sense, okay? Honest to God. Anyways, let's move forward. Let's move forward to the next game, and we'll briefly talk about it. And that is your Washington, what the fuck is our names, versus the New York Giants.
Boo.
They won. All right, move forward.
Hey,
Bears.
like I said last week, and I'm gonna say it again. We're ready for Groundhog Day because bring us our new name. Hopefully,
a boxing team.
Hopefully, it'll be something halfway decent.
If the groundhog does not see a shadow, well, that means Washington gets no name. Sorry.
Yeah, those D linemen on Washington, they hit harder than the Jaguars hit the Colts' ass.
Yeah.
They knocked each other out.
Dude, Vikings stomped the Bears. Not shocked. But good news, everybody. Neil Magny and Ryan Pace are both out of a fucking job.
Yeah.
Yay!
Hey,
I think-
time to celebrate.
I think Matt Nagy's still in Minnesota as we speak right now.
Take care, brush your hair, throw some napkins in the air. But man, what a great freaking what a great day that was. But yeah, that was a horrific loss, and you know, whatever. Move on to next year on that front. Let's talk about, man, Titans, of course, did what they're supposed to do, and that's beat the Texans.
They had to work for it, though.
Clinched the number 1 seed and home field advantage in the AFC, man.
My Pee-wee team will beat the Texans.
Hey.
My 8-year-old group can beat them. Jesus Christ.
The varsity Raiders could beat them.
The varsity Blondes could beat them.
The varsity volleyball team can beat them.
Varsity Blues could beat them.
The 4 non-blondes could beat them. Wait, what's going on?
I got Kevin with that one. That was great.
Oh.
Varsity Blues. Oh. but anyways,
could be the Houston Texans by himself.
Anyways, yeah, the Titans once again, man. Another big win for them, and they got, like you said, number 1 seed, home field advantage in the AFC. So, and you know, Nissan Stadium, it's gonna be rocking, man. Nashville's gonna be fucking rocking. I wish I could be there, man. I wish I could be there during these playoffs, because as much as everybody and people know from my time on here and on other shows, I love the city of Nashville because I've been there so many times, taken so many vacations there. Like I said, if I had to pick a secondary team, it would be Tennessee. And here's the fucked up part. Here's the messed up part for everybody. Still no Derrick Henry, and yet they're still kicking ass. That's how good of a team they are.
Like you said, Amber, with no Derrick Henry, though, the problem with that is actually the Titans actually won big time by beating the Texans. By them getting the bye, Derrick Henry has a whole week to still rest and come back for that divisional round fully healthy with full workload. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah, that's all I got to say is look out to their opponents. They're going to be in trouble.
I mean, obviously, I got to say that whenever Derrick Henry does get back out there on that field, he's going to be the one carrying the offense. But a fucked up part for me was the fact that I was looking at Facebook the other day, and I happened to see the teams that are in the playoffs, rankings by quarterback. They have Ryan Tannehill as number 8 out of the 14 quarterbacks, and I'm like, that's kind of fucked up when you have the number 1 seed in the AFC quarterback in the bottom half of all the quarterbacks ranked in the playoffs. That's kind of fucked up if you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, these rankings are all subjective at the end of the day. A lot of it is. Some go by stats, but a lot of these rankings, especially if they're not based off of stats, they're very subjective, and it's a matter of opinion more than it is factual. So
Exactly.
I'm not gonna go by really anything unless the stats support and show it. But it is fucked up. I do agree with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing about predictions, because in all my years of playing fantasy football, if there's one thing that I've learned, is that predictions don't mean shit.
Absolutely. That's why we do predictions on our show, because it doesn't mean shit to anybody else but us.
Yeah.
Yep.
But let's go to the next game, and that is the Steelers and the Ravens, man.
Oh boy.
Somehow in overtime, they were able to get that game-winning field goal, man. Big Ben, his career still has another life.
And congratulations, you know what? Congratulations to the Baltimore Ravens for giving Ben Roethlisberger another game. You know why? Because the Ravens had multiple opportunities to win that game, but they didn't capitalize.
I saw the 4th quarter of that game on NFL Red Zone, and Baltimore made some bad moves and mistakes, man. They made some critical errors down the stretch.
Huntley couldn't throw the ball if his life was on the line. He was missing receivers.
I have to apologize to your friends who are on Nation's Corner with you guys who vote for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
I gotta say I'm sorry to them, because their team just fucking sucks ass so bad.
Yeah, their quarterback
when you have a coach who doesn't believe in the foot of the best kicker in the game, then you got problems.
Harbaugh should have looked up to Tucker in a lot of these games the rest of the way, because if it wasn't for Tucker, Detroit would have had their first win of the season early on in September.
Yeah.
I mean,
it probably would have turned Detroit's season around just a little bit.
Yeah.
Instead of them having 3 wins, they probably could have had maybe 5 or 6 wins.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how fitting, it's just not a good game for Baltimore as usual.
Yeah, but and there's one thing we got to say also, congratulations to TJ Watt for tying Michael Strahan for the most sacks of the season since 1982.
Yep.
Just a half sack away from having that record all to himself.
Yeah, but still, that's a huge feat.
Yeah,
a huge thing to do, because that record has stood strong for a long, long time. JJ Watt himself almost came close to breaking that record a few years ago.
Yep, 20 years to be exact.
Yep.
So it's awesome. It's awesome for him. Congratulations to TJ Watt on even getting to that point. That proves that he's one of the best defensive players in the entire freaking league, as he should be ranked. But Browns beat the Bengals. That really does
not surprising.
Nothing didn't matter.
Joe Burrow and the guys didn't play.
Burrow and Chase didn't play. So
no jackpot, Joey. Not for that game.
No, but hey, let's move on to the next game. Kevin, you get to lead this one off, man, because 49ers, man, they got it done in overtime, man. Once again, they're able to get it done against the Rams.
Well, that gave me about 3 strokes, 2 heart attacks. My blood pressure ran over 3 times. All I'm gonna say is Jimmy Garoppolo, man. He will, as a 49er fan, he will break your heart, and he will at the same time raise you from the dead to get happy as hell. Because outside of like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, don't I mean, I'm not comparing him. It's like comparing apples to oranges here, but there's not many quarterbacks in the NFL that can dig themselves in a 17-0 hole and come back and win and make it look easy like they did. Like they come out first in the second half and boom, 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 it's all of a sudden tied. Like, damn. And then he made a horrible mistake in the red zone, turning it over, and they could have took the lead before overtime. But he turned it over. The Rams went and got a touchdown. But Jimmy G came through in the clutch. And I mean in the clutch. That's clutch. That's something that I can honestly say that Trey Lance does not have over Jimmy right now. He might have the running ability. He might have a better arm, throw it deeper. But Trey Lance don't have the experience Jimmy Garoppolo does, and Trey Lance doesn't have that clutch gene like Jimmy Garoppolo does. Jimmy Garoppolo's smart. He played under Brady for years and Belichick. He knows how to. He knows. He got it in his veins. That's the only reason we held on to his injured ass for so long. But the big thing I want to say is how special Deebo Samuel is. He's not even a receiver. He is an offensive weapon. Like how they used to call Brian Dawkins Weapon X. That is Weapon X on offense. It's impossible to stop him. Oh, you're going to stop him catching the ball. He's going to line up in backfield and run. You're going to stop him from running. Fuck it. Let's go. Let's have him throw a touchdown pass.
Exactly.
Here, chunk it up. Somebody's wide open. And the big thing I want to talk about, though, and people might not agree with my stance on it, but Matthew Stafford is one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the history of the game. He always gets this scapegoat of, oh, he played in Detroit. He plays in Detroit. He still throw for 5,000 yards. His playoff record is 0-3, and every one of them playoff games, he's had a top 10 defense in Detroit. I don't want to hear it. This year with the Rams, you're up 17-0 against your division rivalry who has beat your ass, Sean McVay, for 6 games now. Oh, you're up. Matthew Stafford throws 2 very inexplicable interceptions. If this is the playoffs, your ass is going home.
Exactly.
Aaron Donald can't even stop that. Jalen Ramsey balled his ass off. He got an interception on Jimmy. For what? Oh, in overtime, I'm just going to throw it to the corner without even getting near Odell Beckham. Fuck it. Throw it right to him. Matt Stafford is overhyped. He's been on this horrible interception streak. He threw 3 interceptions against the practice squad of a defense of the Baltimore Ravens, for Christ's sake. Can we please stop harping about how Matt Stafford's a top 10 quarterback? Matt Stafford's going to put this Rams team over the top. I'm just going to say one thing. The Rams had a better chance of beating the San Francisco 49ers with Jared Goff at the helm. I'm sorry, but it's true. I've watched every game Jared Goff played against us, and I watched what Matthew Stafford done. And Matthew Stafford is the reason we lost. The other games, Jared Goff is the reason they even stayed in the game against San Fran. Let's call a spade here. That's all I'm saying.
And you figured that pick would have shook Jimmy's confidence, because that was a critical pick that came in the game, and obviously the Rams came back and scored that touchdown. But give credit to Garoppolo, because he came back and tied the game with a touchdown pass of his own. And that right there gave the Niners the confidence to win that game, because they knew, hey, if we win this game, we're in the dance. And I'm telling you, if I'm San Francisco's chance, I'm happy where I'm at right now. They're a wild card team, but they have a chance to go far.
Hey, you know what?
Playoffs.
You know what wins though? You know what wins in the wild card game, Steven? And actually, many of Super Bowl winners have been wild card teams. The Tampa Bay Bucks from last year, wild card. You know what separates them to be able to play as a wild card team? You got to have 2 things that the Niners have to go on the road. You got to have a defense. Niners are top 5 in the league in defense. Number 2, you got to have a run game. The Niners are second in the league in rushing behind Philadelphia. You got to have those 2 to be able to win on the road. And San Francisco has both of them, a top 5 in both categories. So as long as their players can show up and Jimmy doesn't throw any inexplicable Tennessee Titans like interceptions, this team is someone you don't want to play in the playoffs.
Oh no, absolutely.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. The next couple games we could just skim through. Of course, Tampa Bay Bucks beat the Carolina Panthers. Not shocked, 41-17. We don't even need to go into detail about how badly the Panthers fucking suck ass, but that's pretty much about where I'm going to go with that. The Sea Chickens beat the Arizona Cardinals. 38 to 38.
How about them sea chickens?
How about the chicken?
Was that game on Peacock?
But yeah, that
Dang,
game doesn't really
That's
mean nothing
wrong.
for Seattle, and Arizona just lost another one. Oh well.
that's wrong.
Miami Dolphins beat the Patriots 33 to 24.
Yep.
I'm
And they
guessing
gave the
Mike-
Bills the AFC East. So congratulations to the Bills.
I'm guessing Mac Jones is saving his
Energy
so
for the
called his energy for the playoffs. There you go.
Yeah, probably right. Saints beat the Falcons 30 to 20.
Of course they did.
And then the final.
That-
What's up?
But Ezra, let me say something. That game put so much pressure on the Niners. I know the Niners don't watch the game, but that game right there is what put all that pressure in that overtime game.
Yeah. Because
Yep,
I mean,
and-
think about it. Think about it. If Stanford would have lost that game, New Orleans would have gotten the playoffs.
Yep.
Yep, they
Yep.
would have.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
so Kevin, I totally understand where you're coming from in that sense. Totally understand.
Yep. And then the Bills beat the Jets, obviously, 27 to 10.
Yeah, there's always next year, Zach Wilson, or
Yep.
in your case, there's always another decade.
Bills, and of course the Bills clinched the AFC East with that win. And then the final game, the nail biter between the Chargers and the Raiders. And what a nail biter that was, man. That was an insane game. But in OT, the Raiders clinched the playoff berth, man. So
I'll tell you one thing. If Randy
Yeah.
was on the show tonight, we'd love to hear his opinion on that game. We would love to hear it.
And that game was so crazy. I mean, it had everything you could think
well,
of.
guess
The-
what, Randy? Since you're not here, you're not hearing any opinion on it. Ha ha ha.
But that game was so wild. I mean, the twists and the turns, the peaks and the valleys that it went. I mean, it went anywhere and everywhere. I mean, the one thing that stood out to me in this game, it was early on in the third quarter. The fact that the Chargers went for it on 4th and 1 on your own 20-yard line. What the hell were you thinking there, Chargers? It almost could have cost you the game. And the Raiders went up by 15 in that fourth quarter. And you're thinking, oh, the game's over. Game's over, because I thought it was over. And then the moment that that Herbert and the Chargers went down the field and scored that touchdown and said, oh, we got a game. And then the moment
we got a game here, fellas.
and then when Austin Eckler scored that 2-point conversion, I said, now we definitely got a ball game. And man, when the Raiders got stopped on offense and the Chargers had that ball, dude, I'm telling you what, I have never seen a football team in my life convert so many fourth downs in my life that it makes first and second down meaningless, because every time Herbert had that ball on first and second down, pass incomplete, and all that. And then when they got the third and fourth down, they were clutch. And man, Herbert is such a gunslinger. I like that kid a lot. He is the future of the Chargers. And there's a reason why he broke Phillip Rivers' record for the most touchdown in Chargers history. And, just had a great game, a great performance. And, on that fourth down drive, on the last fourth down that converted that touchdown, which was mind-boggling as well, because the Raiders had one job to stop the Los Angeles Chargers from scoring a touchdown, and they blew it. A 4th and 21 from the Raider 23, touchdown, tied the game. Mind-boggling.
This
I gotta
guy,
say, when it
Justin
comes-
Herbert,
Yeah. Go ahead, Kev.
so this guy Justin Herbert has ice. Herbert has ice in his veins. Like, I don't know any quarterbacks that can keep completing 4th and 18, 4th and 10, 4th and 11, 4th and 21. And it's like first down incomplete. Hell, even third down, it was like incomplete drop. And then boom, first down right at the sticks. Had to get reviewed. Not once, but twice. First down. And all I got to say is, Vegas, I just want you to know all of America hates you, because instead of getting to watch this, Mahomes like young stud at quarterback get a postseason opportunity. Nope, We got to watch old ass Ben get some kind of a bullshit farewell tour when he gets blown out by 30 to the Chiefs. Way to go. When the Chargers would have put up a way better fight.
Dude, I felt so bad. Felt so bad for the Chargers.
I'm sorry. Herbert balled his ass off, but we got to start pointing in the blame of this missed postseason on Brandon Staley, the head coach.
I felt bad for the Chargers, but I felt bad for the Chargers, but then again, I don't for one reason, and you're going to hit on it right now. Staley, go ahead.
Yeah, he screws himself. He beats himself up going for it on fourth down inside your own territory. I understand going for it fourth down about midfield close. Okay, that's cool. But you're on your own. You're almost in your own red zone. Oh, go for it. Don't get it. Right? What? Come on, man. And it's not the first time he's done it. The Kansas City Chiefs, when they lost on Thursday Night Football, that could have been a win. You know why? He left points on the board by going for it on 4th and goal from the 5-yard line right before halftime, and nothing. And later on in that game, nothing. He has one of the worst fourth down percentages in the NFL converting this year, and it shows. And he is the reason that their 3 losses or more because of poor coaching. You don't do that. You got to trust your defense. Trust Joey Bosa in that game. Let them go get you a stop. I mean, come on, man. It's horrible coaching.
Horrible. And the fact of what got me was the fact that in the overtime session, when the game was tied, they both exchanged field goals. In the back of everybody's mind, we're sitting there going, we're fixing to have a tie. We're fixing to have a tie. Yep. And Staley had to screw it up because he called a timeout. If the guy would have looked at the clock, even a blind man like me knew that the game was fixing to be over. And this boneheaded idiot had to call a timeout when yet the clock is running. They're not going to run another play because they wanted to accomplish something in that game, and they were fixing to. Yep. Both teams were, because the Raiders were going to were basically telling the Chargers, hey, we had a hell of a game. We're both going to get in. No, Staley said, I'm going to cost you guys the game. I mean,
because like Chris Collinsworth said it on the head. He said, if you're the Raiders, you just take the tie. The reason why would you risk the field goal? There could be anything to happen. A high snap, the Chargers recover and score, something like that. You just sit on it and be conservative. And I don't know if you caught it at the end of the game, but Max Crosby bluntly said to Austin Eckler when they were shaking hands and stuff, said, hey, if your boy hadn't called the timeout, we would have tied. Our coach just said, let's just sit on it to tie the game until Brandon Staley called the timeout and had the Raiders thinking, oh, they're just trying to get the ball back and go down the field in the last minute. No.
Dude, you know that has to be eating up
with the tie, but Brandon Staley being an idiot calling the timeout. Come on, man.
You know that has to be eating Eckler up inside and out because and your quarterback. I mean, dude, no offense, but the Chargers have better weapons than Vegas do all day, every day. I mean, at the wide receiver spot, at the running back spot. I mean, the Raiders do have some nice players, but they're not as.
You know what I say? It's not just about the Raiders, though. The Chargers, they have more offensive weapons than the freaking Pittsburgh Steelers do.
Dude.
Who do the Steelers have as weapons? Charlie
Nobody.
Claypool? Oh, please. All he cares about is doing fucking TikToks on a team's logo at midfield, for crying out loud.
If the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And Juju, all he cares about is fucking dancing on TikTok videos. But the Chargers, they actually have offensive weapons. So, I mean, I feel for y'all. I mean, I feel for the Chargers. I mean, if anything, if I was a Chargers fan, I'd be calling for Brandon Staley's head on the silver fucking platter.
Yeah.
If I was them. I mean, I would be calling for Brandon Staley's head on the silver platter. Hands down.
Because the Chargers had to work so hard in that fourth quarter to get the game into overtime. And all that work meant nothing. All that busting your ass up and down the field on the defensive end, on the offensive end, special teams, all that stuff meant nothing. Why? Because the head coach had to think about himself and think about the gamesmanship of the game, thinking that, oh, they're going to kick the field goal, so we're going to ice the kicker. No, they were going to go for the tie because anything and everything, like Kevin said a few minutes ago, can happen on the next snap of the field goal. You could have a bad snap. You could have, a bad placement. You could, anything can happen because anything in the
Anything can
NFL
happen.
can and has happened in the past.
I agree with that. Ugh, I agree with that. Some bad movement, bad coaching, everything all around for that team on that last play. Why would you do that? Fucking morons. Anyway.
And he could just have a bad kick that goes wide
Yeah.
left or wide right. I mean,
Yeah.
anything can happen when it comes to a game-winning field goal opportunity. I mean, shoot, we almost lost the national championship to Georgia back in 2017 because our kicker missed a freaking 36-yard field goal that went wide left. I mean,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys. Let's we're gonna do before we get into our score. Before we get into our score predictions for the wild card. We're gonna do a little score update from ESPN.com, of course. Real quick. Do a little reset here. Right now the Bucks are leading the Warriors 48-24 in the second.
ooh, God.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah,
God. What?
not looking too good right now for the Warriors, but this is early yet. This is way early yet, so who knows? Other games slated for tonight include Timberwolves and the Grizzlies at 8 p.m. Eastern. Same time, also Clippers and Pelicans. 8:30 Eastern, Thunder and the Nets. And then 10 Eastern, Trailblazers and the Nuggets. Right now in the NHL, Bruins are beating the Flyers 2-0 in the second. The Tampa Bay Lightning are beating Vancouver 2-1 in the second. The Blue Jackets and the Hurricanes 1-0 Jackets over the Canes in the second. Jets are beating the Detroit Red Wings 1-0. Thank God. New Jersey Devils are beating the Islanders 1-0. Sabres and Preds are tied at 0. Kraken and the Blues will play at 8. Blackhawks and Canadians 8:30 Eastern. Senators and Flames at 9 Eastern. And then both games at 10:30 Eastern tonight. Penguins and the Kings, Rangers and the Sharks. And that's about it. That's about it on a quick little score update outside of a few college games going on right now as well. But you know what? Let's get into some quick NFL news before we get into that. That is, of course, the Texans have fired their head coach after just one season. I can tell that's already a popular opinion amongst the crew. Also firings. Can't forget about, like we said, the Bears fired head coach Matt Nagy and their GM Ryan Pace. Of course, the Minnesota Vikings fired Mike Zimmer. And what was the other big firing, gentlemen?
Miami.
Yeah, Miami fired their head coach.
That's crazy.
And then the
yeah.
Carolina Panthers with their
Oh, yeah.
debacle of a firing.
I was gonna say the Panthers fired Matt Rule. Oh wait, no, they didn't.
Panthers screw up at everything, on field and off field.
Worst ran franchise since the Jaguars
And the Jets.
and the Browns. Sorry.
What a dick. Let's see.
I'm sorry.
God, that damn song.
Shout out to Andre for playing that shit this morning.
Absolutely. The Colts GM has announced that he said he will not fully commit to Carson Wentz for 2022.
Imagine that.
Absolutely.
I think we should change the lyrics to imagine that there was no Carson.
Nice.
That's all right. Carson Wentz can always go to Carolina and suck there too.
Him and Cam Newton should be playing catch.
Which one gets injured first? Anyways, let's go to our score predictions. Sponsored by Squealers, the new program from Tony Robbins. Let's move. All right, here we go. Let's start with the first wild card game: the Raiders and the Bengals
Oh,
at Paul Brown Stadium.
this is too tough.
Yeah,
but
it is.
the Bengals are red hot with Jackpot Joey and Jamar Chase. That's nasty tandem. I'm sorry. If the Raiders couldn't stop the Chargers on 4th and 21, you're not going to stop Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase on 1st and 10. Give me the Bengals 33-27 in a close one.
Sorry, Randy.
I'm sorry, Randy.
Give me the Bengals to beat the Raiders in this one, 34-24.
31-28. Bengals.
Give me the Bengals in a wild one, 34-28.
Okay.
I just don't see the Raiders stopping this offense at all. I mean, if you couldn't stop the Chargers on 4th down, you're going to have a hard time stopping Mixon and Chase and all these different guys in Cincinnati. I mean, they're just too talented.
Cincinnati is 1-8 all time in wild card rounds, including losing 7 straight.
Good God.
Well, Andy Dalton was at quarterback on some of those teams.
Yeah,
and,
very good point. Very good point.
Not to mention Marvin Lewis was once the head coach that he could win a playoff game to save his life.
Yeah,
absolutely, I agree with
absolutely.
that. Next game, Patriots and Bills at Highmark Stadium.
And round number 3 in this one, the rubber match. This could go either way.
It's a tough one. This is absolutely hard to pick.
This is a hard one. This is a hard one.
I'm actually gonna go with New England on this one. I'm gonna go New England. I think New England right now, they're on a hot streak as of late. Over this season, for some reason, they've just turned it on. Mac Jones has been really good. That team as a whole has been utterly amazing. And of course, Bill Belichick at the helm. I mean, how can you go wrong? But not nothing against Buffalo. Buffalo has been tearing it up too. You know what I mean? But for me, I gotta go New England, but it's gonna be close. I'm gonna go New England 27, Bills 24.
Okay.
Oh man, this one is tough.
All right, I'm gonna pick, and reading some of the insights to the game, the weather's supposed to be 7 degrees at kickoff. It's gonna be inclement weather. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be frozen. It's going to be like it was without the wind on that Monday Night Football meeting. But the Bills over the last 5 weeks have found a new weapon at running back, and the way they've been tearing up the run game with Devin Singletary, I think they're going to continue that. And the lack of experience by Mac Jones in a playoff game is going to really haunt them, considering you got Josh Allen on the other side. So give me the Bills 24-17.
Okay. All right, next.
You know, as much as I like Mac Jones, seeing as how he's an Alabama boy, I got to go with the Bills on this one. I mean, the Bills have more experience when it comes to the playoffs. Josh Allen is a great quarterback, and plus the Bills, in my opinion, have more offensive weapons than the Patriots do. I'm sorry, Belichick, but I got to go with the Bills on this one. Give me the Bills 27-20.
It's so hard to predict this game because it could go either way. I mean, these two teams have had some crazy games this year, and it's, you know what? I got to go with experience in this one. I mean, Josh Allen has had a lot of experience in the playoffs in the last couple of years. He's been to an AFC championship game one step closer to the Super Bowl. You know, and Matt Jones, he's a great kid. You know, he's a talented young quarterback, and he'll get back, you know, there someday to the playoffs. But I think Buffalo is going to win this game. I think it's going to be 23-20.
Let's just hope that Josh Allen follows the advice and takes a Viagra.
And let's hope that Matt Jones actually throws more than completes more than three passes in the game.
Or actually throws more than 3 passes.
Or throws more.
2 of them.
2. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, complete throws more than 3, completes more than 3. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
All right. The next one is it's Philadelphia and Tampa Bay at Raymond James Stadium.
Are you kidding me? This is going to be an ass whipping. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay in this one, 38-14.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay, of course. Tampa Bay. I'm gonna go Tampa Bay 34, Eagles 20.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Eagles. Oh wait, I forgot they don't have Nick Foles. Sorry, Philly. Give me Tampa
Sorry,
Bay.
yeah, that was a somewhat Philly special.
Yeah, give me Tampa Bay 38-14.
I'm gonna go Tampa Bay. I'm gonna go a little closer. Give me Tampa Bay 28-17.
Ooh,
Okay.
okay.
Oh,
Okay.
actually, no. I'm gonna change my score 31-17 Tampa.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, next game. 49ers and the Cowboys at AT&T Stadium.
Ooh, boy.
The one game I've been looking forward to picking all week.
Dallas is 5-2 all time versus San Francisco in postseason.
You know what? Let me go first on this one. It could go either way. Look. I'm not even gonna talk shit. It could go either way. If it's gonna be a shootout and it's gonna be on the quarterback's arms, Dak Prescott's gonna beat us. If it's gonna be a ground and pound kind of keep Dak on the sideline game, the 49ers are gonna beat the hell out of the Cowboys. It's that simple. But I think it's gonna be a dogfight. It's gonna be about which defense can stop who first. And I'm going with the Niners in the upset. They're scrappy. They're a scrappy bunch. And speaking of that, I got just news that popped on my phone that all-pro left tackle Trent Williams is expected to start Sunday as well. So that's a big plus. Big plus.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the Niners in the upset 30-27.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. That's a good one. I like that.
Good score.
This is tough because the 49ers have really, really shown their mettle as of late with their win, especially after this big win they just had to get into the playoffs. And to be Deebo Samuel, absolute monster, and to be one of the top two players in the entire league, period. The guy could play, like you said, he could play any offensive position imaginable. And to me, he's their secret weapon. To me, Deebo Samuel is the secret weapon for San Francisco. And I think he's going to be the difference maker in this. I'm actually going to go with you, Kevin. I'm going to go San Fran for the win. And I think it's going to be, listen to this score. This one's going to blow your mind. 31-30.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Razor thin close last minute field goal from San Francisco.
If I'm looking at this game from both sides, okay, they're both talented teams. Dallas has had a great season this year. Okay, here's the thing about as far as picking Dallas. If you pick Dallas, here's the problem. I can't trust Dallas for one reason. Here's the reason. The teams that they have beaten this year, Philadelphia, Washington, the bad teams, they put up so many points. In these close games they've had this year against really good teams, they haven't been putting up a lot of points and a lot of yards. It's because the competition gets so intense and they can't handle it. Sometimes they can, sometimes they cannot. And, just like they had the game against the Patriots, that was a hell of a game. Prescott had a great game. He outdueled Mac Jones. He threw for more yards, more touchdowns, and they won that game. Okay, that's one of the instances where they beat a playoff contending team. But for the majority of the year, Dallas did not do that. So if I'm going by looking at the statistics, I'm siding with the Niners. Another reason why I'm siding with San Francisco is because San Francisco is the more kind of sizzling team because they are not the heavily favorites to go far. Dallas is a more heavily favored team to go far because of Prescott being the quarterback that he has been this year and the talent that they have on that team. And I'm going to go with San Francisco in a close one. I'm going to go San Francisco 28-27. Game-winning field goal.
All right, so while you guys were looking or thinking about your scores for this game, I went and did a little bit of research, and
Wait, you did research?
yeah, I got this number for you guys.
Thank God somebody did, because I sure as fuck didn't.
You see this number here? This number right here is
Is it-
4.
I thought it was 8. Oh, I've seen double.
Anyway,
Sorry. Damn COVID.
Ever since the Cowboys won the Super Bowl in 1995, 26 years ago, the Cowboys have won only 4 games in the playoffs. Only 4. And that is not going to be 5 come this weekend. I'm sorry, Dallas. I know y'all are the favorites. I know y'all are playing in Dallas, but like Kevin said, San Francisco is a top 5 team in offense and defense. And compared to the stats this year, Dallas cannot match up to a top offensive or top defensive program. And we pretty much saw it this whole season.
Yeah,
So I'm not going to be nice here and say it will be a close game. Give me San Francisco in this one, 31-21.
Ooh.
You know what? I want to say one statistic that kind of really blows my mind that I was watching about ESPN, and it's kind of a next-gen stat statistic. The number 1 team in the NFL on big plays this season, run or pass, the San Francisco 49ers. The dead last team in giving up run or pass big plays this season is Trevon Diggs and the Cowboys. I think Kyle Shanahan, if he can get the run game going, they're going to target Trevon Diggs. They're going to try to double move him, screen him, do what they can to get chunks of yardage on him. That's what they're going to do.
Now, I will say that Dallas achieved quite an honor, and I actually saw this earlier today. They are the first team in NFL history to have a 4,000-yard passer, a 1,000-yard rusher, a 1,000-yard receiver, a man who leads the league in interceptions, and one other statistic. I can't remember what it was right offhand, but if you add all that up, it's not going to be shit come the playoffs against San Francisco. So I'm sorry,
the
Dallas.
Donkeys beat them 30-0.
Bomb, 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 the Broncos beat the Cowgirls.
So I'm sorry, Dallas. Y'all have won only 4 playoff games in the last 26 seasons. I don't think so. San Francisco is going to win this one.
Damn you, Brian. That song's been stuck in our head all damn day.
Yeah, first of all, shout out to Brian Rosa, husband of Thunder Rosa, awesome dude. Shout out to Thunder, as a matter of fact, too. Also, real quick, I want to give some YouTube shout outs to a couple people. I mean, there are people that were on throughout, but people that joined us in the very beginning, of course, Randy, our fellow co-host, but also RA, of course, our buddy RA, Mark's in New Mexico, and the Nation's Corner channel. Also, as well, which we know is, of course, ran by our buddy Front Row. Shout out to the Nation's Corner crew, which, of course, we'll plug that at the end of the show. But we got another game or two to get to, so let's get to it. That is, we got the Steelers and the Chiefs at Arrowhead.
Let's see. This one's going to be a nail biter. Oh, wait. No, it's not. Give me the Chiefs 35. No. Give me the Chiefs 45-13.
Okay, I wouldn't score that high, to be honest.
Okay, I would say 35-13. How about that?
Okay, yeah, it's a little more reasonable.
Yeah, 35-13.
That's like something you would do in Madden, Kevin.
Yes, this is true.
Yes,
this is true.
But I'm actually gonna roll. I'm gonna roll with the Chiefs, unfortunately, for Big Ben's sake. But 30. I'm gonna go 34. I'm gonna go 34-17.
Sorry, Big Ben.
I'm gonna go Kansas City in this one. I'm gonna go 31-20.
I'm not going to be nice.
Oh no.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to be nice to the Chiefs. I'm actually going to go on a surpriser. Give me the Chiefs 28. Give me the Steelers 60 minutes of complete horse crap, and they score 9. Give me the Chiefs 28-9. You thought I was going to say the Steelers. Nope.
Hey.
That would have been the best line of the day on the show.
Hey, Kevin, just do us a favor, and whenever you play Madden again, please don't lose to the fucking Jets.
Yeah. Wait, Kevin, weren't you the Dolphins in that game? Sorry. No wonder Miami fired their head coach because of you had to lose to the fucking Jets. But I digress.
60 minutes of
60 minutes of horse crap. Terrific.
Oh God, that was the line of the week. My God. I don't know.
It must have been on some good shit to come up with that line. I mean,
and I thought the
come on, I don't
chicken
smoke
line
weed.
was good enough.
Joey was mesmerized.
I thought the sea chickens was
I
good
live
enough,
for the
but it
Sorry,
moment.
guys. I had to go check up on Ben Roethlisberger. Make sure he was still breathing all right.
He hit an all-time low.
Oh my God.
Hold on, guys. There's a report that just came. In. It says that the Pittsburgh AARP is giving Aaron Rodgers free stuff for his AARP membership that'll be coming in after the season's over. Anyways, here we go. The final game of the wild card. Cardinals, Rams, SoFi Stadium.
Monday night, I might add, the first Monday night playoff game in who knows how many years.
Man, this game's going to be.
Well. If we have to, we can. Steven, if we have to, if we need to know that stat, we can always hit up Elder on his rotary phone. Yes, our buddy Elder Mike. He is very old.
He invented everything. It seems like.
No, because then we have to call him Gene Simmons. And then he would sue us like this because he's Gene Simmons. He would sue us. But
yes.
I'm actually gonna go on this game.
Praise be to Gene.
Yep. I want to put my log in your fireplace. We'll stop there. Gotta
be hotter than hell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Anyways, let's move forward on the scores and I'm gonna go. Oh God, this is so tough, man. This is actually really tough.
I had no idea who to pick in this one. My God,
Kevin, do you have a score?
You know what? I'm gonna go. I've just ranted about it, and I'm gonna keep on. I know the Cardinals are struggling. I know that they still trying to find themselves, but it's almost like any team that does good all year. Once they slow down at the end, it's like they catch a second life in the playoffs. And right now, I would trust the Cardinals more than I trust Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay. Give me the Cardinals. Matt Stafford's going to be 0-4 in the playoffs. This team is going to be one of the biggest, it's championship or bust teams in the NFL history. You trade away your first round picks for the next 3 years for guys like Von Miller, Odell Beckham, you pick up Beckham, all these guys. Then the report of Eric Weddle coming out of retirement to be their starting safety. Get out of here. This team's about to lose, and give me the Cardinals. I'm going to take the Cardinals in a shootout. Give me the Cardinals 34-31.
Damn.
This game could go so many places in so many different ways. I mean, Stafford could win this, Murray could win this, but if I'm going by, the statistics and all that stuff, I don't trust Stafford in a big spot because he hasn't been clutch, and I'm going to go with Arizona. I'm going to go with Arizona in this game. I'm going to go 31-29.
Oh no, you didn't, Steven.
Yes, I did.
I'm gonna go with Arizona. I'm gonna go Arizona 28. And Rams 24. I think it's gonna be close.
I think Rams will score a touchdown. That's a 2-point conversion.
Steven, did you read my mind or something?
I think I just did.
Because I was literally going to say,
Trust me. That must be a horrific. Trust me, that must be a horrific experience. Steven, go see therapy now.
That was literally going to be my exact score, 31-29 Cardinals. I was literally going to say that same score. No lie.
Wow.
31-29 Cardinals. That's my score.
So that's your score and you're sticking to it?
Yep, that's my score and I'm sticking to it.
All right. Wow. Those are some tough scores to come up with, guys, but we did it, and it's in the books for us on that. Next week, of course, will be the divisional playoffs, and we'll give you our predictions on that next week. But let's go ahead and move forward to the NBA. And there's a good amount to discuss, including this report that came out that the All-Star voting returns for the fans have come out.
Blah blah blah. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm controlling this show, motherfucker. I'm gonna talk about what I want. You don't like it? Go join the show of other people who are no longer on this show. Let's see how good their programming is.
Anyway.
Anyways, the All-Star voting came back from the second fan returns came back, and these are I'm going to run down real quick, just going through the names here. And mind you, this is from the highest number of stats to the lowest number of stats, so 1 through 10. This is the Western Conference front court. You got LeBron, Jokic, Andrew Wiggins, Paul George, Anthony Davis, Draymond Green, Carmelo Anthony, Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, and DeAndre Ayton as your front court on the Western Conference. Your guards are Steph Curry, Jay Morant, Luka Doncic, Klay Thompson, Devin Booker, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, Donovan Mitchell, Damian Lillard, and Anthony Edwards. Any thoughts on that, guys? I know we discussed a little bit of this in the pre-show, but go ahead and bring out some of your thoughts on the show.
I'm going to jump on it first, and I'm going to ask the same question.
That's what she said.
I'm going to ask the same question that Steven asked during the pre-show. What the fuck is Russell Westbrook doing on this list?
You know what it is? Popularity contest.
People love his loud shirts.
And why the fuck is Anthony Davis on this list? The motherfucker's gonna be out for another fucking 3 weeks to a month because
watch me get injured in the All-Star game. Just saying.
Yeah.
You need to wrap that motherfucker in bubble wrap.
Yeah. I wouldn't order his ass, because if you ship his ass off, it'll be damaged.
This is nothing but a popularity contest. This should not pay any means to who should start, but it does. Unfortunately, it pays actually like a big good percentage of who's actually the starter, and I don't agree with it. And as much as I love Klay Thompson, which we'll talk about it, and his return, he hasn't played a single game, and he's up top of the list of being a starter, which is crazy.
Number four in the guards in the Western Conference.
Yeah, and I mean, do I think he's loved that much? Yes, I love the guy. He's one of the best shooters in NBA history. But should he be a starter in the All-Star game, not playing a single game?
Look at LeBron. LeBron is number one. I get it because he's the most popular. Dude has been injured off and on throughout the season and hasn't really played
if
much.
we're looking at the season this year, LeBron, this has been one of his weakest seasons ever. And we're not just saying this because we're just shitting on him, but Father Time has caught up to him. He's not the explosive player that he was 5-10 years ago.
He's not going to get any younger.
And but like I was saying though, LeBron, should he be the number one vote getter? Hell no. Should he still start? I think he should, just because of how weak.
Absolutely.
Because of how weak that small forward standings are right now in the West. Like Kawhi's out hurt. Paul George's been off and on all damn year. They don't really got no small forwards that can really replace him. So yeah, I think he should start. But here's my basketball analytical starting five that should be in the West right now. Steph Curry, Chris Paul, because he's got that Phoenix team looking amazing.
Yes.
LeBron James, Draymond Green, and Nikola Jokic. That would be my starting five.
There you go.
I mean, you
with
can't have
Devin
anything
Booker
better.
close behind Chris Paul to be starting in the backcourt, right there as a six man. That's what I would have personally.
Yeah.
But I gotta say though, my heart kind of goes out to Damian Lillard, because if you guys hadn't heard, he's going to be out for surgery, and we don't know when he's going to come back. So.
I love Lillard, man. He is an excellent guard, man.
I think for what I read, 6 weeks.
Yeah, 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess it's not too bad.
Not too bad, but
my
still,
heart kind of goes out to him.
Lillard, man, I've always liked his play. He's just such a very, very good player. He can shoot.
And he's a pro wrestling fan, as we're aware.
Yes.
See, and it's not very often that you have a guy who can make such a splash in the NBA, who came from such a small college. But Damian Lillard, he came from Weber State, I think, or something.
And he was
like
a first-round pick.
Yeah, he was a first-round pick, and he has completely lit up the NBA. So, I mean,
and you know what, Joey?
What?
To your perspective, I agree, because that's why everybody in the league right now is on the Ja Morant wagon. He come from a small school. He come from Murray State, and everybody thought, he's going to be a bust. But you know what? To be real, between all of us here and everybody watching, Ja Morant is what the Lakers were hoping Russell Westbrook would be, an athletic guard who can run the offense, not shoot bricks. Ja Morant is what everybody thought and wanted Russell Westbrook to be. Let's keep it real.
Remember that playoff game he had, scoring 40-something points? I'm like, holy hell, this guy is falling his ass off. I mean,
did y'all happen to see his block the other night that LeBron was even shocked at? He got up there with two hands with his elbows above the rim and caught the ball before it even touched the backboard.
Oh,
wow. Might be the best block in NBA history.
Speaking of Russell Westbrook, how about the so-called slump that he's in right now?
So-called?
Keyword on that.
Literally.
I mean, what are you talking about? He's been in
the loss to the Kings last night. Russell Westbrook went 2 of 14 from the field.
I will say the words,
14, including 0 for 5 from 3-point range.
I was fixing to say he's been in a slump from the free throw line for the last several seasons.
Yeah.
And in the words of the famous Russell Westbrook meme of that interviewer in OKC, what you talking about, bro? What you talking about? That's him. That's who Russell Westbrook is. And I thought it was funny that the Kings would put up on the Jumbotron the ice cold player of the game, Russell Westbrook. He got pissed off about that. He said, I hope y'all kept those same vibes for the last 14 years.
Hey, well, you know what? They're laughing at him right now because, honestly, fellas, the Lakers aren't even good enough to be sniffing a playoff berth.
No, hell no. They'll get swept first round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Hell, not only that, but we were talking about some of the names on the Eastern Conference lineup, and hell, Kyrie
Irving. We haven't even got to that yet.
Yeah, and Kyrie Irving hasn't even played a full fucking season.
He ain't going to either.
Nope.
No,
because
as long as he remains unvaccinated, he ain't going nowhere near any home games.
Nope.
or
Nope.
games in New York for that matter.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. As
Oh,
long
with
as
the game. Oh, with the game was in New York. That would have been hilarious.
Oh gosh, yes.
oh gosh.
We're voting him in, but he's not going to be able to play. Why? Because he's not vaccinated.
Oh. Or in California.
Oh man.
And your number one vote getter in the East, Ben Simmons. No, I guess
Oh
I got that
God.
one wrong.
two words for you, Kevin. Fuck that. But let's go to the Eastern Conference front court. Eastern Conference, here we go. Front court: Kevin Durant, Giannis, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, Jimmy Butler, Jared Allen, Bam Adebayo, Pascal Siakam, Miles Bridges, and LaMarcus Aldridge. And then the guards: DeMar DeRozan, Trae Young, Zach LaVine, James Harden, LaMelo Ball, Kyrie Irving, Derrick Rose, Fred VanVleet, Darius Garland, and Jaylen Brown.
Derrick Rose can't even stay healthy either.
I know. I wore his shoes. I have a pair of Adidas D Rose 5 Boosts. I only wear them a couple times a year, and I wore them the last time and both of my ankles dislocated.
I was going to say what you don't want to wear them again because you don't want to get your ankles hurt.
That the first time I wore them, my knee blew out.
About that list, guys, I don't really have a problem with it. Like, outside of Derrick Rose shouldn't be higher than Jaylen Brown. That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
But as far as who the original starting five would be based off that, I have no problem with it. I don't have no problem with Trae Young and DeMar DeRozan. DeRozan's balling his ass off is in the MVP conversation. Kevin Durant, obviously, MVP conversation. Giannis, Embiid's the best center in basketball. So I don't have no problem whatsoever with that.
Zach LaVine is a fucking sharpshooter. That dude is fucking.
Oh yeah, he's close. He's a close second two guard that would start, but Trae Young and DeRozan being balling the way he is.
Oh yeah,
that's what puts him over the top.
Dude,
if DeRozan's been about 4 games behind, Zach LaVine would be starting, in my opinion. Or should.
Absolutely,
but
I agree.
Yeah,
they're right there with each other.
That's a team to me that's I think is blowing a lot of people's minds is Chicago, because Chicago, outside of the seasons where they were in the Eastern Conference with Derrick Rose and Carlos Boozer and Joakim Noah, they falter, and they haven't had. Yeah. This is the first time in almost a decade that this team has had a reputable team that could make a playoff push. Mm-hmm. And with DeMar DeRozan playing out of his mind, Zach LaVine being a sharpshooter. And they got other players like Mark Kagan and Lonzo. Even Lonzo has gone from being a nobody to being a guy who produces well when he needs to. And that's exactly the type
would you imagine that he leaves the Lakers and he starts playing well?
Who would? Well, if I had to deal with LeBron, I would
how about
too.
Kyle Kuzma, Steven? Talking about leaving the Lakers. Kyle Kuzma the other night had 24 points and 23 rebounds for the Wizards.
Holy shit.
Oh, but in the Lakers, he sucks. But anyway, what I was going to say is, Steven, you can relate to this because we watched it back in the day.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I seen a meme on Facebook that said, are you sure this is 2021? Well, 2022 now, or is it 2009 again? Because look at the coincidence. LeBron, or 2010 again, 2011 again, because look at the coincidences. LeBron's number 6 again. Lance Stevenson's back on the Indiana Pacers. The Bulls are number 1 again. Mario Chalmers is back on the Heat, back on the Heat. Are you sure this ain't 2011?
I even forgot that Mario Chalmers was still even fucking playing, let alone on.
I did too.
I'm like, he's still playing. Okay.
I mean, that shocked the hell out of me when I saw Mario Chalmers on some news report. I'm like, that motherfucker's still playing?
Yeah, I would have thought he retired. Yeah.
All we need now is Kendrick Perkins to leave ESPN and get a 10-day contract with the Celtics. Then we'll be all set. This will be 2011 for real again.
Paul Pierce to come back to fucking play again.
Yeah, and then Nate Robinson and Glenn Big Baby Davis coming back on the Celtics. Yes, let's go.
And put Rajon Rondo back on the Celtics and have
the dunk on Chris Bosh's ass. Yes.
If I say have Chris Bosh come out of retirement so Rondo can dunk on him again.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that dunk is
But,
legendary.
But yeah, quick update. Kevin, you're not gonna like this update.
I know, down 39, yada yada yada. I know. Let me just throw this game away.
Give it away. Give it.
This is horrible. 77-38.
Hey,
What the fuck?
I'm guessing the Bucks are so irate that they've lost to the Hornets twice in 1 week that they're gonna lay it all down on the Warriors tonight.
Wow, if somebody had the over on this game, you deserve to win some money. But good,
Absolutely.
we sure as hell didn't have that going over.
All right, a couple quick more NBA notes before we move on to one quick MMA note, and then we close out the show. And that is that the Bulls announced today that Derek Jones Jr. will miss 2 to 4 weeks with a knee injury. He suffered an injury on January 12th, so yesterday. Also, like we said, Damian Lillard out with abdominal surgery, 6 weeks. The Hawks have traded Cam Reddish and Solomon Hill to the Knicks for Kevin Knox II and a protected pick, I believe, too. So there's a couple quick.
So Cam Reddish and RJ Barrett are back as teammates again after being teammates at Duke. So I wonder if the Knicks are going to try to bring in Zion next to bring the trio back together.
I wonder.
That'd be interesting.
It would be.
Let's move on to the quick MMA news, UFC, and that is the announcement of a huge fight at UFC 270, I believe it is, or UFC 272. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but a big fight between, I believe it is, and it's hard for me to remember this shit because so many other things going on at the same time, but it's going to be Colby Covington taking on Jorge Masvidal.
I think it is for 72.
Yeah,
72.
It's going to be for UFC 272. Right now the betting favorites are Colby Covington is a sizable favorite over Jorge Masvidal in this grudge match between the two. So this should be a banger of a fight, though. Two guys. You got Jorge Masvidal, who is the owner of the BMF title. You got him versus Colby Covington, who is the living pro wrestling epitome of MMA. I mean, come on, the dude comes out to Kurt Angle's theme song, "Metal," for fucking God's sakes, and a crowd chants, "You suck."
Nice. Yes.
So It's awesome. But also on that card, announced bouts for that card include Bryce Mitchell versus Edson Barbosa, Marina Moros versus Maya Akabova, and a couple other people include Dustin Jacoby, Tim Elliott's on the card, some names we're familiar with, Devontae Smith, Alex Oliveira. So it seems like a really strong card coming up, but the only big main card right now fight is Covington and Masvidal, which is going to be a banger of a fight. So that's pretty much it. We really don't have anything else. So before we tell our things, we got to give a special shout out to, of course, Mission Pro. Their show coming up. I want to throw this out real quick. January 29th, Mission Pro Crazy Train. It's going to be an awesome show. Check it out on titlematchnetwork.com. Those girls always kick ass and put on great shows. And of course, Holiday Thunder Rosa, the Renegade Twins, so many great women on that show. Freaking Maddie Rakowski, but yeah, I wanted to plug that real quick. And also real quick, I know we don't usually get into wrestling on the show, but the big match that was announced for the World GCW at the Hammerstein on January 23rd, Alley Catch versus Ruby Soho for the first time ever.
That match is going to be insane.
Absolutely. And of course, that goes with the not fully announced, but should be announced soon matchup John Moxley versus Homicide for the GCW title, and also Jonathan Gresham versus Blake Christian for the Ring of Honor World title in a Pure Rules match. So that'll be a strong card. But let's go ahead. Let's get to our final thoughts so we can close this out. Joe, your final thoughts.
Well, once again, I gotta say another great show with you guys. I love coming on here week after week and talking sports with you metalheads and other sports fans. I mean, I love interacting with everybody. And all I gotta say is just bring on the NFL playoffs this weekend. Let's rock and roll.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Kevin?
Yeah, it's been another great show with y'all. I hope I'm like every other sports fan out there, and everybody is just ready for the NFL playoffs. The cream of the crop.
Absolutely.
And the what?
Cream of the crop.
Dallas
Yeah.
Cowboys. I know. Hey, look, I want to know one thing though. Any Carolina Panthers fans out there? Oh, I just hear crickets, but okay. What time do y'all play, Saturday or Sunday? Oh, that's right. Y'all don't. I'm sorry. Carry on.
Carolina
Carry the hell
Panther
on.
fans, are you alive? Carolina Panthers fans, how does it feel to be alive? In the words of James Hetfield. No, wait, there's nobody out there. Anyways, go ahead, Kevin.
Carry on. What the Panthers don't play next week? What a beautiful day in sports. The Jets don't play next week. What a beautiful day in sports. Carry on.
The Carolina Panthers fans, how is it going to feel having no success next season?
Crickets.
Exactly.
Don't make me download the cricket soundbite, please, for the love of God.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
You mean, I think you mean, damn it. I hate you all.
Or should we say, dun, dun, dun?
No, that would be too obvious. Steven.
My final thoughts are as this. Hey, Kevin, your signal for once finally showed up all day and was consistent, unlike the Colts.
Unlike the Colts.
For once, it did sound like the Matrix.
Yeah. Hey. I was consistent, unlike the Colts.
Yes. Yes. Your internet signal for once was actually consistent. It showed up at the perfect time to talk shit about one of the worst busts in NFL season this year. Oh my God. But in all seriousness, what another great show with you guys. And it's always fun coming on here and talking about sports and shooting the breeze, talking about sports and football, basketball, whatever we decide to talk about, and talking about wrestling and from time to time. And speaking of wrestling, you can follow the Nation's Corner on Twitter at Nation's Corner, Facebook and YouTube, across everywhere else, all at the Nation's Corner. And check out those guys on Saturday at 7 p.m., 6 Central, 4 Pacific.
Nice plug there, Steven. You'll get your payday somehow.
Somehow.
Yeah, somehow, even though we don't get paid for this show either.
10 years later. But anyways.
Yeah, anyways, we don't get paid. But let's go. First of all, what a great show. You know, once again, a lot of great things. We got our picks in, we just had a great overall time. And it was once again another great show. And after dealing with COVID for 4 fucking days, I'm glad to do this show. It's awesome. Glad I have a voice to actually talk with, because yesterday, if we did the show, I probably wouldn't have one. But
especially Sunday when you first
probably a blessing for everybody if I stopped talking, but whatever. But no, seriously, it was a great show.
Glad you're feeling better, man.
Yeah, I'm glad I am feeling better, because that Sunday and the Monday morning was rough. But I'm here and we're ready to do this again, and we will do this again next week. Also, don't forget to follow our social medias, Steven_Wyand. You can find our buddy Kevin Rorie on Facebook somewhere. Just don't follow him or anything, because He's boring.
And hey, hold on. You can find me in the same pot that Zeke is still hiding in from the Salvation Army.
Nice.
I'm found somewhere. That's the only one I'm cracking on the Cowboys.
Find him in the Salvation Army. Find him in the Salvation Army Red Kettle.
Make your donations to Kevin Rorie.
Send the Coast Guard out to look for Zeke too while you at it.
Oh shit, because he hasn't done shit the rest of the last couple weeks. What the hell? Hey, real quick. That will be the downfall of the Dallas Cowboys if Zeke does not play well. If he continues to suck like he has last been in the several weeks, Dallas is going home sweet home on their way, baby.
I agree. Like I said, follow Steven at Steven_Wyand on Twitter. Follow Joe at JTS Skins on Twitter. And follow me, Deadman469 on Twitter and all my other socials. Also, don't forget, follow Too Sweet Cosplay. If you love cosplay, you love pro wrestling, hit them up, Too Sweet Cosplay as well. That's my page, my buddy's page. And we'll be showing a video of the show on there once it's finished here. But that's enough for me. For Kevin Rorie, for Joseph Thornton, and for our buddy, don't forget our buddy Randy, who could join us. So for Randy as well, and for Stephen Wyand, I am Ezra Vickery. We will see you next week for another great edition of our nation's sports show. Take care, everybody, and have a great week. Peace.